Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Hello, hello. I gotta go get my hook. Okay. Happy Friday, everybody. Hello. I was busy shoveling cereal in my face before you guys joined. I still have a few bites and I'm probably gonna try to sneak off camera. I totally forgot I had a bowl of cereal and it's ruined if you don't eat it, you know. So yes, so got a couple people commenting about the hoodie. I'm super excited to release my first new design of 2022. I'm going to try to release it tomorrow. That's my goal. And I want to do a video that shows the difference between this hoodie and the original basic hoodies that are usually in my bonfire shops. If you guys have purchased hoodies with the hooker design, the tarot card designs, the F-off design, all of those are their basic hoodie. This is more of I guess it's considered a premium. They call it the medium weight. I feel like it's just as heavy, but the fit is different. But it comes in some different colors, some more pastel-y kind of colors that I really like. I think the cat is trying to come in. Is that you? You're gonna have to push the door for real.
I see you got a barricade.
Well,
hello, everyone.
Kick the doorstop in. You don't want to come say hey?
I did.
Oh. That's the captain, by the way. But yes, so this is the new hoodie. And it's longer. So for me, this is a medium. And you can see the pocket is longer here. It is a longer style hoodie. So this is a medium on me. And I'm really glad that I sized up because usually I wear a small. But because it's so long, it feels narrow. So if you don't like your hoodies to be long like that, I would not get this one. And it doesn't have as much give as some of the, original ones. But it feels more like a Comfort Colors style. If you guys like the Comfort Color sweatshirts and stuff, I would just make sure to size up. And if you don't like them longer, I would not go with this one. But I do feel like it's made really well. I like it. It's different from the other hoodies, and it's something that I'm going to start adding to the bonfire shop when I can. Okay, so we are here for the Luna Crochet Along Part 2. Now, I left off, I believe I got 20 rows, so this is the back panel. So I do need to go ahead and get started because some of you guys skipped ahead and continued crocheting. I really wanted to do this in real time so you guys could see me actually complete a cardigan and see how long it takes me. So I'm going to continue working on my back panel. I need, and I think with this one, I wanted to mention, usually when I make my cardigans, my patterns call for either a 15 or a 16 millimeter hook, okay? I usually go with a 15. This time I only had my 16. I don't think I saved myself a 15 millimeter hook, and we've sold out of our 15 millimeter hooks, so we're going to be doing a release next month. But I do feel like this one is a little bit looser than my 15 millimeter creations. So since this is for my stepmom, and she's a very petite person, and I don't want this to lengthen too much on her, I'm probably going to cut one row off of the body and off of the panels just to be safe. So for me, the back panel, I'm making the second size, which is the extra small / small. I should have 20 rows, but I'm going to stop at 19, which is how many you would do for the first size. Okay, so let me see how many rows I have. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do I have 10? Is that it? 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, I'm not counting right today. I haven't had enough coffee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 15. I have 15 rows. So I'm starting on row 16. All right. So give me a shout out in the comments of what row you're on. If you're joining in, if you have already jumped to the front panels, totally cool. If you're already on the sleeves, more power to you. But I am working on row 16. If you did not join in to the part 1 of the Luna Crochet Along, you can find it on my YouTube channel. It's the last live video that I uploaded, and I did change the little thumbnail so that it says Luna Cardigan Crochet Along Part 1, so it should be easy to find. This Instagram video I'm also going to upload to YouTube, so I am going to be making a playlist on my YouTube channel, so if you wanted to come back and revisit this later, you totally can, and that way, you know, people who can't watch it live, they can do that. Okay, so Ellen is on row 15 as well. I am not alone, but I feel like going live, this shows you guys about how fast I crochet. This is about it. This is max speed for me. I am not a super fast crocheter. I am also a knife grip holder. You can pencil grip these hooks, but it is quite difficult as these hooks get larger to continue to use pencil grip. For me, a 10 millimeter is about the max for me if I'm going to use pencil grip. And I've never been a natural pencil gripper. It was something that it's something that I wanted to try and teach myself to give my wrist a break, because it can be helpful to switch out your grips. All right, I am moving on to row 17, and I'm not going to show anything super close up right now because this is just repeating. I'm repeating the exact same row. I'm doing half double crochet across the row, and since I'm doing the second size, it is 26 half double crochet stitches across for, I'm doing 19 rows for my size since it's a little modified. I'm doing the length of an extra small. Is it an extra? Let's see what that size is labeled. Yeah, I'm doing the length of an extra small for my stepmom, but I'm going to do the width of the extra small / small, which is 26 half double crochet stitches across. And I am using homespun, Lion brand homespun, which a lot of you guys may hate. I feel like people either love it. I don't know if anyone loves it, but they either use it and don't mind it, or they hate it. That's usually what I get feedback from homespun. But I have discovered that if you hold homespun double and you use a 15, maybe like a 14, 15, 16 hook, you are going to like it a lot more than if you're using it by itself with a much smaller hook. It has kind of rekindled my love for this yarn, which is great because this yarn doesn't seem like it's going to be going anywhere. I feel like it's been around long enough that I don't see Lion brand just discontinuing it. I see them discontinuing colors, but it's kind of like Woolly's Thick and Quick. It's been around long enough that it's kind of part of their staple yarn selection. All right, I'm on to row 18. And I am going to come back and check into the comments with you guys in just a second, but I really wanted to get done with this back panel before I take a break, because I don't want part 2 to just be finishing the back panel. Okay. Yeah, so this is row 18. Oh, and the yarn color that I'm using is Painted Desert. And actually, I was saying on the first video, I was kind of sad because if you look at the colors online for, I think it's called Painted Desert, something like that. If you look at the colors online, they're a lot brighter. These are a little more like autumn-esque colors, and they were much brighter online, but it kind of matches my sweatshirt right now. So I'm kind of feeling that. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, we are almost done with row 18, and then I only have one more row. on the back panel, and I can start on the front panels. And that I'll be able to kind of talk you guys through, which was another part of my goal. This is my easiest cardigan pattern to make. And I feel like doing it this way, you can kind of see how long it takes, but I can also walk you through a little step by step. And I may pick the phone up and turn it around and kind of show a little bit, explain a little bit. I think that'll help as well, since I'm going to be saving these. All right, this is my last row of the back panel, which for me is going to be row 19. And let's see, I think for each size, so going up in size, and my sizes start with extra, extra small / extra small. Then they go to extra small / small, small / medium, medium / large, large / extra large. And you can get this pattern in my Etsy shop and follow along, especially if you're not very good at reading patterns. This can help you. But the rows, it goes up about a row per size. So extra, extra small is 19 rows for the back panel. Extra small, small is 20. Small medium is 21. Medium large is 23. Large XL is 24. XL 2X is 26. 2X 3X is 27. 3X 4X is 28. And 4X 5X is 29. That's how many rows are going to be in this back panel here. And I'm almost done with the back panel. Woohoo! I have never crocheted a full item on my lives. Sometimes I'll have a project that I'm working on, but I really am enjoying this, and I think this might be a fun thing for me to continue to do. You know, maybe crochet my way through some of my older patterns, and have it be something where if you guys want to follow along, you can. And if not, I'm still going to be chatting and, you know, talking about other stuff with you. So I think that could be kind of cool. You know what you guys think. As soon as I get done with this row, I'm almost there. I'll have my 19 rows. I'm going to check in with you guys in the comments because I know we have quite a few. And I wanted to take a moment, make sure you guys don't have any questions. 3 more stitches. And these are regular half double crochet stitches for this pattern. Okay, finished. There is my back panel. So it does look pretty short. Let's make sure. I'm going to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 3, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, it's 19. That does look pretty short though. I mean, I am going to add the border, and I don't think, let me grab my other Luna and I'm going to double check. So I have a Luna made out of homespun. I don't know if you guys can see me back here. I've got my little drawers of goodies. So this is my homespun Luna. Go. Whoop. Yep, there it is. So I'm just going to lay this flat on my lap and double check. The bottom border on the Luna cardigan is 3 rows. So let me lay this on my lap, if I can get it flat, because that's kind of hard to do. Maybe I'll just put it up here on the table. That's why I have a table, to lay stuff on it. Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping I can get through the front panels today. All right, so I'm going to flip this around. And I'm just going to try to make sure that this back panel is not too much shorter, because this is the one that my stepmom tried on and really did like. So my goal was to make her one as similar to this one as I could. And I may... Yeah, I kind of feel like... Where did I join? Yeah, that's down there. I feel like I need to add one more row. I am going to go with the full 20 rows. So let me add one more row. And there we go. Move this out of the way. All right, I am going to check in with the comments real quick. Yes, you can make it longer, but the pattern already does make it longer. So the pattern, depending on the size you make, you're going to have a longer back panel already, but you can totally add length. So if you're making, let's say you're making the, I have to go back to the sizing. If you are making the, let's say XL 2X, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 6th size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's, you would have 26 rows on your back panel versus 20, like on the one that I'm doing. So you're adding another 6 rows already. But if you want extra length, you can totally add extra length on the panel. Just make sure that you remember or write down how many extra rows you added, because you need to make sure you add the same number of extra rows to both of the front panels. And then you can also make the border longer. So you're going to be adding a bottom border to this cardigan. And I have had people who just make the border quite a bit longer too. So it's really up to you. If you do like an extra long border and you feel like maybe it looks a little funky, you can add pockets. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this cardigan to really make it your own. And that's something that I really love about my patterns. That's really one of my big goals, is to make sure that people feel comfortable making, you know, adding their own style and flair to the patterns. All right, I am almost done with row 20, since I did decide to add the 20th row instead of making it a little bit shorter, because it doesn't seem to be too much larger. I was really worried that, I think I used a size 15 millimeter on mine, and I'm using a 16 millimeter on this one, and it can make a difference. You know, it can make a little bit of a difference in the stitching, in the stitch and the size, and I didn't want this one to get too long because I'm using a bigger hook. But I don't think it is. I held it up to the other one, and I know that it'll lengthen out a little bit just over time with the weight. All right, so there's my back panel. Yay! Now, I am going to check the comments before I move on, but I did want to say, when you finish the back panel, you are not going to cut your yarn. You're not going to cut your yarn. You are going to work your first front panel directly off the top of the back panel, okay? And I'll show you guys that, but you are going to chain 1 and turn your work just like you would if you were working, for me, like a 21st row. So if I was moving on to the next row, I'm just going to start working it like it would be the next row, but it's actually going to be row 1 of your front panel. And I will show you guys so you can see. These are the instructions for the first front panel. So you can see that it says row 20, but then it has a slash right here to say row 1. So it says row 20 / 21, 22, 24, but then it's slash row 1 because that actually is going to start the first row of your front panel. And then it says starts the first front panel. You're going to chain 1, 1/2 double crochet in the next, in the next couple of stitches to make your panel. So the panels for each size, I'm going to just read them off in order. Again, you can purchase this if you want to follow along. It's in my Etsy shop, but the first front panel for these, and I'm going to go in the order of sizes, starting with the extra, extra small. So the first front panel, the extra, extra small / extra small is going to be 9 stitches across. The extra small / small is 10 stitches across for the front panel. The small / medium is 12 stitches across. The medium / large is 13 stitches across. The large / XL is 14. The XL / 2X is also 14. The 3X / 4, didn't get that right. 2X, 3X is 15. 3X, 4X is 17. And the 4X / 5X is 18 stitches across. So that's how wide your front panel is going to be. And they're going to be just as long as your back panel. So for me, my back panel was 20 rows. So my front panel is going to be 20 rows. And it's going to be 20 rows that are 10 stitches across, half double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to run through these comments really quick because they are... This one does not have a printer-friendly version yet. I have not gone back in and changed that up. That's something that I need to do. It is on my to-do list, but I have 30, almost 40 patterns now that I'd have to go back and create printer-friendly versions of, and it's not as easy as I thought it would be to just make them printer-friendly. I actually have to kind of copy and paste from the pattern into a separate document and then upload that one, but it is on my to-do list for this year to get back through my old patterns. So let's see. Jar Mom says, this is so cool. I love having the crochet along. I'm so glad. That makes me really happy. Ellen says, love crocheting along with you. Since we can't have in-person group crochet groups. Cindy says, I trust you, and now I have to try a homespun one. I love yours from last year. Yes, totally worth trying, especially if you have a whole bunch of scraps, because this one is a homespun scrap cardigan, so you can see all the different colors. So I had like a lavender and a pink and a red, and I had a blue and a green, and yeah, just lots and lots of different homespun colors that I just threw together to create this. You can see like a navy blue in there. And I double stranded different colors. So it really created some really neat shapes. I was really happy with that. Okay. Yes, Sammy, you can find this pattern in my Etsy shop. Thank you, Ellen, for answering for me. Just bought the pattern yesterday. Ellen was on row 15. Rebel Witch was already on the sleeves. I think that's everything. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have any questions. Okay, so let me go back to the present. Hello, Nancy. We are here doing the second half, the second portion, not half. I'm not going to finish it today. The second part of the Luna cardigan crochet along. Super excited. So I have finished my back panel. And like I said, for this one, so I finished, this is the end of my last row. You can see my working yarn here. And this is my back panel. To start the front panel, I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing. I'm going to chain one. I'm going to turn my work around just like I'm starting another row, because technically I am. I'm just not going to work that row all the way across this. I'm only going to work, let's see again to make sure I remember, 10 half double crochet stitches across. Okay, so I'm going to start. I need to do 10, so we've got 1, 2, and I can actually move this down just a little bit. Oh, there we go. I think I'll make sure that I don't fall out of the frame. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so that's 2, 3, 4, whoop, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I promise I'm not going to count every time I do a row. It's just that first one to make sure that I don't get too many. Okay, so I'm going to take my hook out just so that I can hold this up more easily. And you can see how I worked 10 stitches across the back panel, but I did not continue it here. So I just stopped at 10. And I'm actually going to let me pick my camera up and show you guys laying it flat so that it makes a little more sense. So let me turn this around for you. All right. I've got this thing on a tripod, so this is going to be fun to try to flip it, but all right. So you can see here, this is where I've left off. So you can see the entire back panel is finished. It's just one big rectangle. And when I started this next row, which was the 21st row for me, but it's also slash row 1 because it's row 1 of the front panel. Okay, so from here, I'll be putting my hook in here, and I will be chaining 1, turning my work, and working back across this. And I'm going to be working up that section, okay, so it'll create a nice L, which you can see right here when I show you this. So it's like that. Now it's on this side because once I flip it over to do the other side, it'll show it like this. But this is what we're going to be creating. So you don't actually tie your work off. You just continue moving, and then you're going to bind your work off here, and you'll attach your yarn over here to start the second panel. Okay. All right. So let me flip this back around so that we can keep working. Okay. Had a couple new people joining in. Oh, Fancy Nancy. Yarntageous by Fancy Nancy. Fantastic. Yeah, we got a couple of Nancys. All right. I'm going to move this back a little bit. Make sure that is right. I think that's good. Okay, so I'm going to continue with my first front panel. So here I am chaining 1, turning my work, and I'm continuing to work rows of 10 half double crochet stitches, and I'm going to do 20 rows. So from here, I mentioned this a little bit in part 1. This is kind of what I love. One of the things that I love about the patterns that I'm creating, because I really want these to be something that you can, it's multitask friendly. So you're going to have these moments where you are going to have to stop and make sure that you've got your count right, and especially changing from the back panel to the front panel, adding the sleeves, things like that. But once you get going on a section like the back panel or the front panels or the sleeves, you don't really have to think about it very much. You can really put yourself on autopilot. You can listen to podcasts easily. You can watch Netflix. You can do whatever it is that you want to do while you're crocheting and not worry about missing a stitch or, you know, forgetting to put a stitch marker where a stitch marker is supposed to go. And I never enjoyed those patterns very much because I was the type of person who I didn't have the focus or the memory capacity to remember that I needed to be counting stitches, and I always ended up with wonky stuff because, you know, I would forget to place a stitch marker, or I would miscount, and then I would have to frog something, and then it's no fun, you know. Pull this down a little bit again. I feel like I could move that. Okay. Yeah, that's better. I'm gonna make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. But yeah, that's my goal for my stuff. All right, I'm chaining 1 and turning, so I am now on row 3 of my first front panel. Let me know if you guys are crocheting along, if you have moved on to the front panels. I would think so because you guys aren't talking like I am. It's definitely more distracting to chat, but I feel like it also gives a much more real example of how long it takes to make these, because if you are talking or watching TV or something like that, you know, it may take you a little bit longer than if you're just crocheting in silence for long periods of time. Peace, Love, and Crochet is on row 7. Are you on row 7 of the front panels or row 7 of the back panel? So I am working on a new sweater. I'm hoping that it turns into one that I write up into a pattern. It was one of those, I'm doing it last minute. I wanted to make a sweater for St. Patrick's Day because, okay, and Peace, Love, and Crochet is on the front panel, row 7 of the front panel. So you are ahead of me. I think most people will be, but that's okay. So I'm making a St. Patrick's Day sweater because, and I will let you guys know, you guys are the first to know because you're here on this live with me. Let's see. We are going to be opening the pre-orders for our St. Patrick's Day mystery boxes in I think on Monday. So I think we open, and we're only open for a week. So if you have been waiting to get yourself a St. Patrick's Day crochet mystery box, we are opening pre-orders for those on Monday. So mark your calendar. You'll have a week to order. Those mystery boxes will be going out, I think, because St. Patrick's Day is the 21st. So I think we're going to try to get them out the last week of February. That's kind of the goal. Maybe a worst case scenario, if things take a little while to get to us because of shipping delays, it might be the first week of March that they go out. But I'm really excited. We've had a lot of fun making these mystery boxes. And if you have not heard of our mystery boxes, if you're new to joining in on this live or watching the replay, our mystery boxes are different from other crochet mystery boxes because they don't have yarn. So there are a lot of crochet mystery boxes out there or subscription boxes that are yarn based. Ours are not. So the first mystery box that we did was for Halloween. All of our mystery boxes, now we only sell the large ones, and the large ones all come with one of our 3D printed crochet hooks. And lost my train of thought there. The Halloween box had the hook. It had a special hook because we do not make a 13 millimeter crochet hook because it's bad luck. But we made one for the Halloween mystery box. So if you bought a Halloween mystery box, you are one of the only people out there, you are the only people out there who own a Pink Sheep Design 3D printed crochet hook in a size 13. And we might just make the 13 have a comeback next year for Halloween because we think that's so cool for that to be the only way that you can get a 13 millimeter. It would obviously be a different hook from last year. A different color hook, a different, style with resin and all of that fun stuff with glitter and things. It'll look different. But we might be thinking about doing a 13 in the next Halloween mystery box. So that one, it had its hook. We did a bunch of 3D printed tools in that one. We did a lucette fork. We did a wraps per inch tool. We did a gauge square. We did some Halloween candy. We had a tote bag, a really fun custom tote bag that had a double-sided print for Halloween for a project bag. It was like a canvas tote bag. I'm trying to think if there was anything else in there. Stitch markers, tapestry needles, some little Halloween fun goodies. And then the Christmas box, we did a custom limited edition mug. We did a Christmas ornament. Of course, we had our hook. We did a Winter Wonderland themed hook. So it was like a white hook with a bunch of white and blue glitter. So it was like a white Christmas, blue Christmas kind of thing. We didn't do any 3D printed tools in that one, but I worked with Bee Queen. If you guys have heard of Bee Queen, they have some really great hand balm. So I got hand cream, hand balm because it's winter and it's cold weather. So it was a perfect time to work with another small business to do hand cream. What else did we put in that box? The mug was a little scary because I was so afraid that they were going to break when they shipped, but nobody's mug broke, thankfully. So everybody got the nice mug. They got to choose between coffee or tea. So they got some tea and hot chocolate. So tea samplers and hot chocolate samplers. What else was in that one? We had some little tags, like little faux leather tags to put on your make. So for like hats and coffee cozies and things, there were some little leather tags in there. Stickers. I always do custom stickers, at least one custom sticker, usually two. A little card, candy canes for Christmas. So they are different in that it's all like crochet tools and accessories and fun items like that versus yarn. So it's not like a yarn project. Oh yes, a skein cozy. That was the other thing. So one of those little stretchy jersey skein coats that you put around your cakes or your skeins to hold them in place. That was one of the other things. Thank you, Jar Mom, for reminding me. It's hard to keep track of all the things that we get for these. And I was a little nervous because when I started doing the planning for the St. Patrick's Day one, I was a little concerned that, you know, you don't want them to get boring and you don't want it to like not live up to the past boxes. And I was really struggling to figure out what all I wanted to put in these boxes. And it took some time and it took some brainstorming, but now I'm really excited because we've got two more small businesses that I'm getting to work with for this one. The large custom swag item is really exciting because it's something that I didn't know if I was going to be able to do or not, and I was able to work it out. I've got a sample coming next week that I get to look at and check out and make sure that it's good to go. And once it is, I'm going to be ordering those. Our hooks, all the filament arrived for our hooks. We've started printing our hooks for the St. Patrick's Day mystery boxes. Really excited about those. They're turning out really cool. I got custom stitch markers designed for these boxes. So there's going to be some really fun stuff. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a really fun mystery box. So yes, mark your calendars. That's going to be Monday. So, and that all started with me saying that I was making a sweater for St. Patrick's Day because I realized I don't have any St. Patrick's Day gear. And when I take all the pictures for the marketing, because I like to share, you know, photos out, I'll probably decorate another box. I have my boxes and I'll draw question marks all over the box in green and gold, which I did for Christmas. I did question marks. I used a Sharpie and drew red and green question marks all over the box, and the same thing for Halloween. And I try to wear something. So for Halloween, I made myself a little black and orange cat ear hat. And for Christmas, I had my jumbo pom-pom hat on. And so I was like, okay, well, I need something that's St. Patrick's Day. And I didn't really want to make another hat. So I decided to make a sweater. So I'm making a green and gold sweater. Obviously not what I'm working on now if you guys just joined in. This is the second part of my Luna cardigan crochet along. But I am making that St. Patrick's Day sweater. Oh, the UPS man is here. Sorry. My window is like right here so you can hear the dogs barking. All right, so I'm going to show you guys my progress real quick. Take the hook out. I don't know what's coming today from UPS. We had a bunch of packages get lost. Amazon packages get lost through UPS, so I'm kind of hoping they show up today. So here we are. This is my nice L shape that is forming. So this panel was started just off the back panel. I didn't have to cut my yarn or weave in any ends. You just keep working straight up, and this is what you are left with. And I am on row 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13. I'm on row 14 out of 20. So making progress. Let me know if you guys are still on the front panel, if you have started on the second panel. I know somebody said they were already working on the sleeves. Let me know how that's going. You may finish your cardigan before I even finish the front panels. We shall see. All right, so did I say I'm on row, this is row 15? I think that's what I said. I think this is row 15. All right, thank you, Mickey. Says that the cardigan looks awesome. Making sure I didn't miss any more. Jar Mom says, yes, mystery boxes are awesome. I would recommend them to everyone. Thank you. And Jamie said, give me that gold in 13 millimeter. You might have to reach out to the captain about that. He might be willing to work with you. Mel's Crocheted Creations, if you're still on here, I am working on the Luna cardigan. So this is the second part of my first ever live crochet along. So this is the front panel of my Luna cardigan that I'm working on right now. And Yarntageous by Fancy Nancy is crocheting with me, making a sloth plant hanger. I will definitely go check that out. Send me a picture because I may not remember your tag when I get off of here. So send me a message with your newest post. And that way I can go check it out and I can make sure I'm following you. Oh, Jamie says, I will be making demands. Yes, so if you guys ever have things that you want the captain to print for you, and if you haven't been following me very long, if I refer to the captain, that is my husband, aka Captain Hook, because he is the master printer who makes sure that our 3D printers are up and running smoothly, and even if the filament that we purchase wants to be squirrely, he can make it happen. Cap'n. So this is one of our 3D printed hooks. He is the one who makes sure that they get printed as beautifully as they can be printed. He also does the majority of the sanding. So he is usually the one to do the first session, the first sanding session after they get printed, which is the toughest. So really getting those hooks smooth for their first coat of resin. And then after we resin coat them the first time, I take over and I do the second set of sanding before we add the second coat of resin. So these babies take some time to really get them right and really get them smooth. And even then, they're not perfection. You know, we are still learning, and because we coat everything by hand, every now and then the resin will act weird and we'll get, you know, spots on them. But I think that it's, and not spots, but sometimes the resin doesn't want to cure super smooth, which is actually why we started doing the second coat. But for me, I feel like it just is a testament to the fact that these are not mass produced. You know, like we have to do everything by hand, one by one on each hook, and we aren't machines, you know? So we try really hard to make them awesome and smooth and wonderful. But they're never going to be perfect because they're not, you know, they're not mass produced. So they're going to be different and have their own little special things about them. And you definitely know that if you've ever bought one of our oopsie hooks. So every now and then we'll have hooks that, you know, we'll have some serious issues with the resin or something, where, you know, it'll really kind of show in the surface of the hook that you can see imperfections, but they're still usable. So, you know, the functionality of them works, but they may have some issues where something got scarred up from the sanding process. So sometimes we'll have those to sell. But we've really worked on our process, and it's less and less often that we have hooks with issues that are serious enough for me to want to sell them for less. Because we still put in the same amount of work. You know, I think that's where it's difficult. You know, it's not till the very end that you say, this one doesn't look quite as good as the other one. But again, since we don't do anything with machine tools, it takes a long time to get to that final ready to sell point for those hooks. Okay, let's see where we're at. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I got 2 more rows left on that first front panel. All right. Row 19. Making quite a bit of progress. That was my goal this time. I really wanted to try to finish these front panels on this live. And if you are following along and you're watching all of these, the next portion of this crochet along, which will be part 3, is going to be over on my YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, head on over and subscribe. And then once I get the live listed, you should get an email and a reminder, and then you can set a reminder on part 3. So part 3 will be Tuesday. I go live every Tuesday on YouTube, just like I go live here every Friday on Instagram. Same time, 12 p.m. Central Time. And that is where part 3 is going to be. So I'm just jumping back and forth with these because I am doing them as my regular live sessions, which helps me because I don't think I'd be able to just add in separate lives for a crochet along. This makes it easy for me to keep my regularly scheduled time, and for people who are used to coming on at this time. You know, if you're used to watching me around the noontime hour, you don't have to change your schedule around. Okay. Make sure I don't have any comments. And Crochet Page is just listening in. Well, thanks for joining. Yarntageous by Fancy is going to send me that message. Thank you so much. I appreciate it and love your hooks. Thank you. We love our hooks. Peace, Love, and Crochet is done with the front panel. Are you starting on the second panel, I'm guessing? And I'm about to start on the second panel. So let me make sure. I think, let's see if I have one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20. Okay, so I do have 20. All right. So once you're done with the first front panel, so you guys can see this is what it looks like. And I've got my nice big L shape here. I am going to go ahead and cut my yarn. All right, so I'm going to cut my working yarn. All right, and I'm going to yarn over and pull that working yarn through to bind off. And this is where I think I'm going to try to turn the camera around and actually work so you guys can see. Peace, Love, and Crochet is waiting for me. Awesome. Okay. So let me lay this out and then I'll flip this over to show you guys. Move some stuff out of the way. Okay. All right. Now let's see if I can get this high enough. So give me a moment. This may be a little awkward because I'm going to try to get the legs on this to go down. So you guys are going to stare at the ceiling for just a moment. So patience, patience. I'll try to hurry. I got one more leg to make a little bit longer. Hope you're not getting car sick up there. All right. Now let me see if I flip this around. Let's see if I can get a good angle here. All right. I think that's a pretty good angle. Okay. All right. So you guys can see here what I'm working with. We've got this nice L shape, just like in the photograph right here. That's what it should look like. And then I'm going to flip to the next page of the pattern. And this is where you're starting the second front panel. So if you look closely at this photo, you can see that I'm actually joining not in the center between the edge and the outside, but more towards this side right here to create the neck space right here. And I'm going to be working half double crochets this direction. All right. So I'm going from here across, working the same number of stitches here, but I'm going to attach right here and start working up this section. Okay. So you're going to be joining, and you can see right here, this is for your size. So I am going to be reposting this here and on YouTube. So if you watch this again, you can pause it here if you did not purchase the pattern, and you can see how many across you need to. So when it says 9th row, you're counting from the outside. So if I was joining, I think this is I'm going to be doing this one. So the second size. So I'm going to be joining into the 10th row, and it's the 10th from the outside. So I'd be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and joining into the 10th stitch from the outside of this panel. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, from the outer corner opposite the newly created front one. See photo here. Row 1, you're going to chain 1, half double crochet in the next 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, etc. stitches to the end, and then turn, and then you keep working, and you make sure that you do the same number of rows. So if you added rows to your back panel, you want to make sure you add the same number of rows to both of your front panels. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and join. I need to join it into the 10th stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and move my, and actually, can you guys see? I'm going to move this over because I'm going to go ahead and wind this, because that yarn is going to give me a lot of trouble if I don't wind it. So I'm going to go ahead and pan this over so you guys can actually see me and what I'm doing first. So this is what I was left with right here. Can you guys see that? Yeah. They're kind of falling apart, and I'm worried that that is going to make a mess if I don't go ahead and wind this. So I'm actually going to wind these together. And this yarn winder has been great. I did get the Stanwood 10-ounce yarn winder because I knew that if I was going to be winding anything, they were going to be big yarn balls because I use such bulky yarn. So this was definitely the top choice for me instead of a, maybe a smaller yarn winder. Oh, and it's got some static happening. This should be pretty quick though. Oh yeah, I can already see the floor through these. But I think this will make it easier for me, which is great. Instead of them getting tangled up as I get towards the end. And see, I've already got a knot here, and that's what I didn't want to be dealing with once I was actually crocheting with it. Whoop, here's another knot. There we go. All right. Okay, so now I can wind this around here, make a pretty little cake. And let me turn this back here. I need someone to do camera management for me. Okay, so I'm going to tuck these ends in to finish off this cake. And my sister-in-law and her husband are coming over today, so they should be arriving any minute. But I am going to stay on for my full live. Okay, so second front panel, I am joining into the 10th half double crochet stitch from the outer corner. So I'm going to go ahead and make my slip knot, insert my hook. So when I join, and I wish I could get you guys even closer. Let me see if I can. If I lower this down, because the way that I do this, I feel like it's not the same way that everyone else does. Actually, here, let's try. I have my little, where is my little one? Oh, there it is, hiding up here. You guys are so patient. Thank you. I appreciate you dealing with my shenanigans as I try to get everything figured out. But I think if I can get closer up to this, I'll really be able to show you guys how I join in case that's ever an issue for you, because I know sometimes joining isn't always as easy. All right, we're going to try this. I think that might actually be too close. Yeah, that's going to be too close. I tried. All right, let's do it this way. One more trip up in the sky for you guys as I try to, whoops, come on now. Yeah, I need to have 2 of these tripods ready to go at the same time. I think that would probably help me a little bit. But we're going to put you guys up on the table to get you a little closer to the action. There we go. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah. Much better. Okay, so I got my slip knot already on the hook here, and I'm going to count across. So I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is where I need to join, but since I'm working my stitches this direction, I really need to flip my work over. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to that stitch and I'm going to flip my work. Okay. Now that's still 10 from the outside if I'm over here. I'm going to scoot it over so you guys can see. Let me turn it this way. There we go. Okay. been doing enough finagling here for you guys. All right, so I've got my 10th stitch from the outside edge out here. All right, I've got my slip stitch already on my hook. And with the slip stitch on the hook, I'm going to insert my hook and get my working piece of yarn over and create a slip stitch. So I'm going to pull through the stitch and I'm going to pull through the yarn that was already on my hook, the slip stitch that I created. All right. So now I am joined into this space and I'm going to chain 1. And then I'm going to start working my half double crochet stitches across to the outside. So my first half double crochet stitch is going to go into the same stitch that I just joined into. Okay. So I'm going to yarn over, create my half double crochet in that same stitch base. And then I'm going to start working my half double crochet stitches all the way across to the outer edge. I'm going to make sure that that's still in the picture for you. Here we go. I'm going to do this first row here so you guys can see it a little more closely. Making sure I'm staying right here in the thing. I can't see the camera very good. Making sure you guys can still see what I'm doing. Get myself some more yarn. All right, 3 more stitches. Okay. So that concludes the first row. There we go. The first row of my second panel. So like I said, I started down here, worked my way up, continued working straight up here, tied off, joined right here, and worked my first row across. And from here, I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work, and work my next row across. And I'm going to be doing 20 rows. So I hope that actually made it pretty easy to see. And you've got a tripod leg sticking out right here. So sorry about that. And my old cereal. I almost finished. I didn't want to stuff my face on camera though. So yeah, you know the struggle. All right. So I'm going to flip this back up and flip it back around. I'm going to try to just keep this. I'm going to try to keep this on the table. So that way I don't have to put you back on the floor. All right, so let's see where this needs to go for you guys to be able to see me. I've got my chair right here. So if I'm here, oh yeah, that's perfect. This is what I should have done because then I didn't have to like screw around with the legs of the tripod. All right, let's see what time it is. All right, I've got 1 more minute. So I'm going to do a few more rows. And let me turn this down a little bit more. All right. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. So I know you guys said a few things. So let me double check. I don't want to miss any comments. Riz Soaps just finished her second front panel. Woo woo! You are almost there. You can start throwing the panels over the front and checking it out. And that's where before you sew up the sides, you can actually pin it with stitch markers just to make sure that everything's going to look right. That's a nice place to do a fit check. All right, let's see. I am struggling looking through my comments right now, so I apologize if I miss anything. I try not to. TJ Terry, hey, I'm late. Hubs dragged me to the grocery store before snow tonight. That's good though. I'm glad you guys got what you needed. We have been trying to stay stocked up because of the weird weather and of course COVID. So we haven't been going out as much. Nancy says, I have a bunch of homespun. Definitely going to make one. Yay! I'm so glad you were enjoying the tutorial. And I would love to see your homespun sweaters because I don't know. I think maybe one other person has done one that I've seen, but they're very soft. So I mean, I love mine. I wear mine all the time. TJ Terry says the color is really pretty. Thank you. It was not as pictured. So when I purchased this, I thought it was going to be brighter, and it's not as bright as I thought it would be, but it happens. Chris and Logan, love her patterns, just finished the Granger cardigan. I want to see that. I think you shared a photo of your progress in the Facebook group. And if you guys are not in my Facebook group, you can join my Facebook group. Anybody's welcome. If you go on Facebook and you go into the group section and you type in Pink Sheep Design, it should pop up. Come join the party. Lots of fun. Really fun place to share your progress. So if you're doing this live or you're working on my patterns, you can ask questions and share progress photos. A lot easier than on Instagram. So that's a nice place to be. But I do want to see that because that was looking really, really, really cool. Let's see. Mickey, love the new high fiber. Yes. So again, if you're just joining in, this is my newest design. It is releasing this year. It's going to be the first design of 2022. I would love to release it like tomorrow. I just got this in the mail and I needed it to take the pictures to actually talk about it. But there are also, these are going to release the same day, holographic high fiber diet stickers. So those are going to be releasing as well. I've gotten everything photographed. I just have to get everything live. And I'm going to be launching this directly from my website. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to get my website a little more user-friendly. And so that's been my goal. But I will be sending a link to that. You can now shop the majority of my stuff directly from my website. You won't pay through my website. You're still going to pay through Bonfire. They're still the ones doing all my orders, but I'm trying to make it easier to find stuff because I have so many designs that it gets really cluttered really fast. So right now, if you go to therealpinksheepdesign.com/merch, that is probably going to end up being my main hub where you start the process. You know, you can shop different collections. If you want the tarot cards, all the tarot cards will be together. If you want stuff that's yarn related but not specifically crochet related, there will be a yarn life collection. There will be a crochet life collection that's specifically crochet. So I'm just trying to make it easier to manage. There's also going to be a holiday collection. So with my Halloween designs, Christmas designs, Valentine's Day designs and all that stuff, all the apparel. So working on that. But yeah, this is the first one of 2022. So I'm really excited. And let me try to do at least 2 more rows on this second front panel while I'm on here. And then on Tuesday, we will be finishing up the front panel and I will be able to start on, because what's after the front panel? Let's see. You sew up your edges. So after this one, I will be showing you guys how I do mattress stitch to sew up the sides, and then you'll be able to try it on. So it'll just be a little vest. And then from there, I think we do we do the sleeves first? Yes, I do the sleeves and then I do the borders. So yeah, the next one, which will be Tuesday. So this next Tuesday on YouTube, you can join in and I will be finishing up this second front panel. We will sew up the edges and we'll get started on the sleeves. So I hope you guys are enjoying this though. Even if you're not making one of these, I hope that it shows you how easy it is to make one. You know, I mentioned this again in my part 1. I really want to create patterns that help people not feel intimidated by making wearables. And there is a hair that just got crocheted in, so I was trying to pull that hair out. Okay, I think I got it. At least I got part of it. My hair is so stinking long now that it just gets caught in everything. And at least when it was shorter, it was short enough to like pull out. But this one, it gets crocheted into like 20 stitches, you know? So you can't just pull it out. It just breaks. All right, that is row 2. And it's the same thing with the body of the cardigan, the back panel. At the end of the row, you chain 1 and then you turn. Now, I think in the pattern, it says turn and then chain 1. Either one works. You just want to chain 1 and turn at the end of the row. You can do it either way you want to. And then once you turn your work, you start working your half double crochet stitches back across. And again, just make sure if you added length to your back border, just make sure you write down how many extra rows you added. And that's another thing I can talk about really quick before I go, just to give you guys one more tip. So if you have ever wondered about the sizing of a pattern, you can use the gauge. Now, you do have to make sure that you match the gauge if you're going to do this to check your math. But okay, so I finished three rows of the front panel. This is what I'm looking like. It's hard to hold it up, but I'm creating a U shape now. So here's my first front panel, second front panel's in my hand, back panel's back here. But let me walk you through this really quick before I go. So if you were wondering, okay, how long is this cardigan gonna be? And how many rows should I add for length? Here's what you can do. And this might get a little tricky. I do need to do like a blog post about this because talking about math makes my head hurt. So I have a feeling listening to math will make your head hurt too. So let's see. And I do need I'm going to bring you guys over to my computer because I'm going to use my little calculator over here. I usually use my phone, but obviously I'm on my phone. So let's do this real quick. All right. And I will actually write this down on a little sheet of paper, and then I can actually show it to you before I go. Okay, so the gauge for the Luna cardigan, and we're going to talk about length, so we need to know the rows. We need to know how long the rows are for the cardigan, right? And let's go with the small/medium size, and let me find how many rows. The small/medium is 21 rows long. So it's 21 rows tall from the back panel to the top of the back panel to the bottom of the back panel. So we need to know how long that's going to be. If you look at the gauge, which is on my first page, so if you go to the first page, Luna cardigan, you can see the gauge down here at the bottom. It is 6 half double crochet stitches by 6 half double crochet rows in a 4x4 square, right? So we need to know how tall one row is going to be. So we know, let me pull up my calculator. So we are going to divide 4 inches, okay, because you've got the 4x4 square right here, 4 inches. We're going to divide 4 inches by 6 rows, okay? If you divide 4 by 6, you get 0.666666 repeating, okay? So I'm going to say 0.67. So each row equals 0.67 inches. So that's where I start, right? We know that the size small medium is 21 rows, right? So we need to multiply 21 rows by 0.76 inches. Okay, so 21 rows times 0.767 inches equals 14.07 inches. 14.07 inches. So you know this is without the border. So you know you can add length on the border, and I think the border is, let's see how many rows the border is. The bottom border, I feel like I'm missing a page. Oh no, I'm not. It's hiding from me. Okay, so the bottom border is only 3 rows long, so I could actually add another 3 rows. So instead of 21, I could do 24. Okay, so 24 rows, so that'll be the whole back panel plus the bottom border is 24 rows long. We know that each row equals 0.67 inches. So 24 times 0.67 equals 16 inches long. So if you're looking at the pattern and you don't know how long it's going to be, you can do your math. You can figure out how, and that's actually, let's see, 4 inches. That was 4 inches divided by 6. And that gave me 0.67 per row. And then you find out how many rows. And you know that that small/medium is going to be 16 inches long. And you can decide from there how much longer you want to make it. So if you want it to be 20 inches long, you can figure out how many rows you want to add, because each row is a little more than a half an inch. So there you go. I hope that's helpful. I try to teach that pretty often to everyone because people are always asking me how long, how wide, because I didn't used to include estimated measurements in my patterns. And that's a really easy way to figure it out using what you already have, which is the gauge. So if you have the gauge and you do a gauge swatch to make sure that you're going to match the gauge of the pattern, you know how long or how wide or how long the sleeves are going to be. You can do those calculations ahead of time, and then you can decide if you need to make modifications. So I hope that's helpful. Princess Peach and Chloe asked where I am in the pattern, and I will do a final showcase of where I ended and where we will finish up next time I am on here. So let me turn this camera around one more time and let me flip it down so you guys can see. All right. So this is where I ended. Let me move all this around. Again, if you're just joining in, this was part 2 of my live Luna cardigan crochet along. Let me put my hook in where I finished. You guys can see where I'm at. Oh, my little cake's running away. Okay. All right, so this is where I ended. I've got my bottom, my back panel, first front panel, working on my second front panel. And so part 3 is going to be on YouTube this coming Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to finish up this front panel. I'm going to sew the edges together because what's going to happen is both of these front panels are going to fold down like that. And you're going to sew up the edge so that you have the armhole. All right. So that's where we are. I am super excited that everyone seems to really be enjoying these crochet alongs because I'm enjoying them too. I think it's really fun getting to share my process with you. Actually, you can watch me create a piece. And so I'm considering doing more of these. I'll probably maybe do a poll to figure out which one to do next if you guys have a favorite, and we can create another one together. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. I think that's all the questions. All right, guys, look out for the release of my first design of 2022, which is High Fiber Diet, coming soon. I will post about it on Instagram. You can subscribe to my newsletter if you want to. You can do that using the link in my bio here on Instagram if you want to be the first to know and get direct links to everything. I usually send an email out before I post to Instagram, depending on what it is. Oh, and in case you guys were wondering, I did finally, just show you guys really quick. I finally got the bigger, oh, and these match my sweatshirt. So these match my sweatshirt. These are the Sherbet Lemon hooks. I finally got the bigger sizes listed. So if you guys were waiting on the bigger sizes for these, we forgot to resin coat them with the rest of them. We just didn't have the space, and then they were in the little box. But we have 17, 18, 19, and 20 are now in the Etsy shop. I think someone bought the 25 already. But we've got these, they're up, they're listed. So if you were waiting on them, you can grab them now. And we will have a new hook release next month. So we are on schedule to have another release in February. And again, be on the lookout. Monday, we're going to open pre-orders for our St. Patrick's Day mystery boxes. So we're super excited about those. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for joining in. And I will see you guys on Tuesday over on YouTube. Happy hooking!